I suppose the saga of the Jeffrey Epstein files continues. Oh boy, we love the Jeffrey Epstein files. So what? This all started back on the campaign trail with Donald Trump promising that he would release the Epstein files. He also promised he'd release a bunch of other files. What? JFK files, RFK files, and I think it was also the MLK files. I think like a bunch of different classified files that the FBI is like holding on to. He made like a campaign promise. He also said he'd release the Epstein files as well because, again, like yada yada, conspiratorial audience, blah 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 blah, blah kind of a deal, right? He got followed up upon that by, I think it was an ABC interview. I'm pretty sure it was an ABC interview where they asked like, okay, so you said you're going to release all these files. Okay, well, we just want to ask, like, are you going to release them? And he's like, the interviewers in question, they ask sort of like they go through a list of them saying like what RFK files. He's like, yes. JFK files, yes. MLK files, yes. And then they said Epstein files, and he's just like, yes. And then he was just like, but yeah, I don't know. There could be like a bunch of stuff in there that's not really good. Blah 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 blah. And he got really whiff waffly on that position. It was very 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 suspicious. Like it's like, I wonder why he decided to just kind of like waffle about in terms of the Epstein files. Well, that's a little interesting. And then, I suppose it's like kind of a way to sort of gin up the sort of conspiracy wagon, because that's like the main reason for as to why Donald Trump is doing this is to make sure that he has all of the conspiracy brain people within his political coalition activated and always ready to vote for Republicans. So that's why he decided to try to promise to be like, hey, I'm going to release all of these like files, because they've been constantly clamoring for the release of these files for, I don't know, God knows how long, probably for years or decades at this point, if I were to take a guess. I haven't been really keeping up with like my conspiracy theorist lore, and there was like some updates with this. Like, who remembers this like dumbass photo update? We got what? I think this is DC Drano. This is Chaya Raichik. And is it Pam Bondi? I don't know who the fuck this is. Yeah, we had some like dumbasses, come in with like day little binders, saying like, "Yo, bros, we got the Epstein files, yo!" And then you like look through it, and it's like redacted. It was like mostly redacted, and hardly like any information that wasn't known before was just like, well, was like hardly revealed. Like nothing really changed at all. And again, it's like a really easy way to sort of just like keep baiting like more and more engagement from like conspiracy channels or like conspiracy minded people, the QAnon types, blah 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 blah, in order to make them stay politically activated. Because again, let's be honest here, they're never releasing any of the goddamn contents of the Epstein files. That's not fucking happening ever. And the reason for that is because it implicates a lot of incredibly powerful people, and that includes probably Trump himself. We all know the meme, right? Like, Jeffrey Epstein called him his, like, friend and shit. Like...
So how do you know this?
That was close to straight.
Well, this was, like, about a couple years ago. Fire and Fury, not Faith and Fury. Fire and Fury podcast that had Jeffrey Epstein on. So, I was Donald Trump's closest friend for 10 years. And if I recall correctly, this was like Jeffrey Epstein kind of describing how Donald Trump would run his cabinet throughout the first term, saying like he'd like people to sort of like compete against each other, show their sycophancy, yada yada yada. Similar like a certain funny little mustachioed man. But memes aside.
So I need the Donald. Just give me Donald.
First, it's fun. So you probably know he had a scalp reduction. Because he had the same male pattern movement that we all have.
That's
he had
funny.
A scalp movement, which is terrible. Donald's office, as you know, he made that. He used to be on the phone as that fake PR person. I also found it funny. I was sitting there listening to the guys from the Post talk and Donald would say, yeah, he's a great guy. I
Donald's a
love
great
working
guy,
with
folks.
him.
I'm so good, folks.
And I sit there going, this is just amazing. And he'd say, Michael, come on, let's go to the office. And he'd say, tell me, what's it like being there? He'd say, you like having sex with your wife? How often do you? He'd say, it's great. Seriously, Michael, how often do you have sex? I mean, don't you want to go? You and I can go upstairs or tomorrow, come over.
Damn it, Jeffrey. No one gives a shit about that.
Or Hawaiian tropic so come over at 3 o'clock. You're going to have a great time. I promise you, Michael, it's just me and you. You're going to have a great time. Be up here at 3 o'clock. We can go upstairs. The whole time, Victoria's been on the phone, listening, setting it up.
Mm-hmm.
Because he wants a story. So he has you on, because as an avoid conversation.
Oh, God.
You're not going to say yes very much.
Stop the interference, please.
You must have had a better wife, right? I said, yes. Tell me about it. And the wife's on the speakerphone listening. Donald said, I think you're really hot. And I know you think you're a guy. Michael is like the end of the world, the best guy on earth. He's going to be married to him. You're wrong. Just listen to the next 20 minutes. And the only thing you will is set you up.
Yeah, a lot of sussy behavior. Why does Jeffrey Epstein know the very detailed interpretation about this? Either he heard about it or he might have been there. Who knows exactly? But listen, the key point is that bro said he was his closest friend for 10 years. We also know about the meme of what? He had 14 different numbers to call Donald Trump with. We know about the Trump Jeffrey Epstein pictures as well. Talking about Jeffrey, he really likes them young. He loves them young, folks, let me tell you. Loves them young. Very, very cool. And he would talk about how much, he and Jeffrey Epstein would like their women very, very young. And so, I don't know, weirdo, conspiratorial-minded people will say, oh, what do you mean? Donald Trump was never, a friend of Epstein. He's our dude, he's the guy who's gonna take down the deep state. It's brother, my dude. The reason why, this shit's never gonna make it to the light of day is because, again, let's be honest here, he's in those files. This shit's never gonna make it to the light of day. In terms of all the different interests, all the different billionaires, all the different political power players that exist. Because again, what was Jeffrey Epstein's purpose? He was an information guy. He was a broker, right? He was supposed to have very, very meticulous details and records, right? Because the FBI raided Little St. James. You're going to try to tell me that they have nothing in there on Donald Trump when they went in there to get all that fucking information? And that they got rid of it now or something? Because that's the current excuse. It's either conservatives are saying that, oh, I don't know why people care about the Jeffrey Epstein files or some shit, or I don't know why they got rid of all the evidence under Joe Biden. It's just dude, you people are in a fucking cult. You're willing to just bend over backwards and come up with any excuse at this point in order to defend your clear sussy billionaire president. It's super obvious and really, really clear that it's just dude, you can't think anything wrong of dear leader because you're in a cult, quite literally. But getting back to the sort of timeline. So there was the DC interview, not DC, ABC interview that Donald Trump had saying he'd release all these files and then just kind of being sus about it, right? So we had
the DOJ.
Pam Bondi sent it with an interview on Fox News. I believe this was in February, so 5 months ago? About 5 months ago. Yeah, sure. About 5 months ago, where Pam Bondi was saying oh, we have the files, we got the files, we're going to release them.
They may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen? It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, we'll check back with.
Again, like, the problem with this is that he made it a campaign promise saying that he was going to reveal all this information when you could have done, like, the whole, I don't know, rigmarole fuckamagee saying, like, oh, man, we'll totally do this next super hot drop. Like, you know, like Twitter files kind of a deal with, like, all those, like, dumbass reporters that Elon Musk decided to hire to do the Twitter files drops. When in reality, like, when they ended up dropping, it was, like, a total nothing burger, basically. And it's just like, oh man, look at all these drops, very, very cool, in Twitter files. And it's just like, yeah, this seems like pretty, like, normal standard behavior of, like, Twitter and stuff like that. It's very, very strange. So it's just like, they're just like they're gonna start like retreating back or something, because it's just like they're not actually going to release anything, because it's just like it implies way too many people. Implicates way too many people that are really, really important, and they're never going to get rid of that stuff. That's important information that they have now that they can use as, like, leverage in terms of, I don't know, whatever, like, shady backroom deals that, like, politicians and, like, billionaires tend to do all the time or some shit. Yeah, who knows? But, you know.
But in this case, in Epstein's case, it is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out.
Is it going to be shocking?
I haven't seen this video in particular. I guess this is, like, some Donald Trump, like, cabinet representative who decided to come in on Piers Morgan to do, like, the sort of, like, hype train of, like, guys, we got the Epstein files, we're going to release them, blah, blah, blah.
I don't see how it's not shocking that there were so many individuals that were hidden and kept secret and not been held accountable. Let's talk about the reverse. I believe in accountability. So you have to now go through your process. Now, I won't say they're guilty until they go through their time in court. But again, now it's time for accountability. We have seen for so many years, Pierce, in this country, many investigations, subpoenas, testimonies in Congress, et cetera, et cetera. But there's a general frustration with accountability. We take it halfway, we don't take it home. And I really believe that now with Kash and Pam, there will be accountability. But in the
Dude, literally, okay, when the funniest thing about with Kash Patel is when Elon Musk and Trump got into, like, their sort of initial spat with like the one big beautiful bill, the most beautiful, most epic, fantastic bill. Let me tell you, folks, very good bill. The spat that Elon got in, you know, before he did, like, his whole, like, Porky Pig party, before the recent spat. There was a spat before. I think it was when it was passed in the House about a month ago. So this would have been about June. The initial thing that Elon did was say that Trump is in the Epstein files because they did the little, photo op thing here. And then the big beautiful bill passes in the House. Elon gets mad, says, Trump is in the Epstein files or some shit. And then they have, like, their little spat, and then, Elon gets back in line. Kash Patel was, like, doing an episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, saying, like, dude, like, I want absolutely nothing to do with this. And it's just like, Kash, that's, like, it's kind of your job. I feel like isn't that what you're supposed to do? I thought you were supposed to be the guy that's releasing the Epstein files. And then he does, like, the whole, like, also rigmarole, fuckamagee, saying, like, we have to, like, care about the victims and stuff like that. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, if there was nothing, like, super incriminating on, like, anyone that you liked, you would have just released that shit in a heartbeat, okay? Like, nah, get the fuck out of here with this bullshit. Like, the only reason why you're doing this is because, again, you just want to feed into, like, the conspiratorially minded voter base that you have, okay? Because you don't care about what happened to the victims of Jeffrey Epstein. No. It's not about any of that stuff. It's because, let's be honest here, it's because Trump's in the files and they don't want to reveal that information because it implicates him, right? And they'd be in a really hard-pressed position, politically speaking, if that were to get out to the public. So that's cool. That's great. Fantastic. So what do we get? We get like little photo ops and a bunch of like meaningless, nonsense. And this is like the most recent thing that comes out. DOJ FBI interview finds no Jeffrey Epstein client list confirms suicide. No client list. With a dude whose main function is an information broker is to have fastidious records. No client list? Bull fucking shit, dude. Listen. I like to say that I have like a bit of a bullshit detector. This is just like going like there's like sirens going off saying like wee woo. Nah, you're full of shit. You're full of it. I don't believe you. You guys got the fucking client list. You just don't want to release it because it implicates too many people, and you would be in a really bad political position if you were to sort of like say like, you know, this is what is in the Jeffrey Epstein sort of client list. And the thing is like basically nobody is buying this. Like a bunch of people within like I suppose the MAGA sphere are just like, this is bullshit. Everyone like in the liberal like sort of like liberal sort of left-leaning sphere is just like bullshit. Like we don't believe you for even like 3 seconds. You're telling me that there is no Epstein client list for a dude who is an information broker? Nah, I don't believe it. It's bullshit. And this is what you decide to go with instead of like doing like, I don't know, some kind of like strategic ambiguity saying like, well, you know, we like saw a couple of things, like maybe you could have even released like a few names that like are like totally inconsequential, saying like, I don't know, we saw like this guy before, right? And in the client list, and it's just like nothing. You're just gonna reveal nothing. You're just gonna say that there's no list. Really? They could have done literally anything to keep the conspiracy going, and they just said like, no, there's just no list. No list, it doesn't exist. It's like, damn, I knew you guys were like really fucking incompetent, but I didn't think it would be this bad. Like, you have all the cards, you could do anything. You're just like, there's none. You just decide to trot out like the most easiest debunkable like bullshit claim in theory possible. Like, are you people for real? Like, okay, dude, very, very cool. But what's the big man himself got to say? You know, he's pushing back on Jeffrey Epstein questions. Now, what do we got?
Your memo and release yesterday on Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former Labor Secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency.
Alex Acosta, by the way, I believe was one of Florida's attorney generals. This is a point brought up by the Majority Report. So the whole idea, and Alex Acosta, Pam Bondi also was an attorney general for Florida as well, and both of them were part of Donald Trump's administration. So it's just like, I wonder why you are sort of appointing people who were the attorney generals of Florida who could have prosecuted Jeffrey Epstein's bullshit if, you know, what is being said in the list is true. Why are you not using them in order to, like, prosecute Jeffrey Epstein and also, like, bring more people to fucking justice? Oh, it's because you would have been implicated in them.
Agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the death?
Yeah, sure. If I
Pam,
could,
could I just interrupt for
Sure.
1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have...
Buddy, you made it a campaign promise that you were going to release the Epstein list, dude. What the fuck do you mean? This is what we call, you know, reaping and sowing. You, you decided to reap the conspiratorial wheat, and now you, you know, or sow the conspiratorial. I did it backwards. Sow the conspiratorial wheat. Made it a campaign promise. Promised that you'd release the list. Now you're saying that there's no list. They're all calling bullshit, and now you are reaping the fucking consequences of that. Hilarious.
This, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable.
This creep, huh? No, hold on.
So how do you know this?
That was closest friend. 10 years.
Wait, I thought he was your closest friend. For 10 years. He had like 14 different ways to calling you. All right, what's going on? That's a very, like, sudden shift. For, like, a dude who, like, believed in a certain thing for, like, 30 years or some shit, to have a very, like, very, very sudden shift, seemingly on, like, Jeffrey Epstein it's kind of interesting, isn't it?
Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened. And
again, like I've said, you promised that you'd release the Epstein files, buddy. Like, again, reaping and sowing. God, dude. It's just silly, man. Like, it's just goofy. It's just like, buddy, like, you're not gonna get away with this stuff, man. Like, this is like the easiest fucking shit to debunk. Like, do we need to get like the clip? We can try to find the clip. Fuck it, right? Fuck it. Trump says he will release the Epstein list. Oh, it's gonna give me a bunch of like more recent bullshit. Like, he literally said this on the fucking campaign trail. Like, come on, bro. Are you people like for real? So this was about a year ago. Would have been very much so in the campaign swing of things.
If you were president, would you declassify? You can answer yes or no to these.
Yeah.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
yeah,
Would you declassify JFK files?
yeah.
Would you?
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that.
It seems like I guess it wasn't ABC. It was MSNBC. Yeah, whatever. There's a BC in there. Same shit. Whatever. But
Less so, because you don't know it. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there, because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But
I wonder why he's saying this. I couldn't think of anything in particular. Wait, you know, nothing sussy here at all whatsoever.
But I think I would, or at least.
Do you think that would restore trust? Help restore trust?
Yeah, I don't know about Epstein so much as I do the others.
9/11, yeah. JFK, I'm with you. Jeffrey Epstein, yeah. Well, why would Donald Trump be so circumspect about exposing the secrets of Jeffrey Epstein, a billionaire child sex trafficker?
Thank you, Chris Hayes. Very, very cool. God, dude, that's so funny, bro.
In Texas, it just seems like a desecration. But you go ahead.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file, along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein.
Dude, come on, man. It's bullshit, bro. Come on, dude. You don't want to release any more information because that fucking orange bastard that is sitting with you is in the fucking files. He would be fucking implicated. Like, it's bullshit, dude. Come on, man. Nice campaign promise that you made there. And now they have to, like, backtrack and seem really bad on this. You know, if the Democrats were intelligent, they would just, constantly, like, rake Trump over the coals with stuff like this. But they never will because, unfortunately, there were Democrats in power who also were a part of, well, Jeffrey Epstein's files and stuff like that. So that shit's never gonna fucking happen. Ever. So, yeah, nah. It's just gonna be a bunch of like rigmarole, fuck-a-McGee justifications in order to just like, again, feed more red meat to the conspiratorial sort of base, being like, yeah, dude, totally, like, whoa, we're gonna fucking make sure that the Jeffrey Epstein files, they don't like totally matter, bro, and stuff like that. It's all, but then they all of a sudden matter. We gotta like do the whole like conspiracy theory nonsense about Jeffrey Epstein again, and like again, it's all fucking politics for these people.
Porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day. To him being an agent, I have no knowledge about that. We can.
So this is like mostly like a deflection. I think the reporter asked about the client files, right? Like the client list, which you guys said you'd release. It's not about like the CP that fucking Jeffrey Epstein probably had. I say probably. Definitely had. And all this other like fucking nonsense that Jeffrey Epstein also had on his files. Like, buddy, like, come on. You're just moving the goalposts because you don't want to implicate Orange Man over here because Orange Man, well, he's in the files.
Get back to you on that. And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide.
Oh, what about that 1 minute? I feel like that 1 minute might be pretty important, huh? Yeah, I just some like thoughts, you know. Seems like it would be pretty important, that one particular fucking minute, you know. I don't know, like what happened in that 1 minute? Where did that 1 minute particularly go? Dude, listen, okay, they probably just told some, like, random guys that they'd turn off the cameras, and then, like, all of a sudden, like, Jeffrey Epstein did the fucking deed, okay, or some shit. Like, not, like, it's bullshit, bro. It's complete fucking bullshit.
And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter, and what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from, like, 1999, so every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing, so we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night.
This is, again, the sort of, like, excuse that they're trying to hedge their bets on, saying, like, well, you know, we still gotta, like, comb through some stuff. We gotta find this, like, particular video. Who wants to make, like, a bet that they're just never going to fucking release that shit ever, because it would just have, like, way too many fucking implications. Let's keep it... I'm keeping it a $1.50. They're never fucking releasing that shit. That shit's not making it the fucking light of day, right? Ain't no fucking way. And besides, like, talking about, like, you know, how Jeffrey Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein, like, killed himself and all this fucking shit. Like, nah, this is fucking nonsense. The literal fucking point of all this is just, again, to run cover for all the billionaire fucking butt buddies who are going to be implicated by the Jeffrey Epstein files. They don't want to have that make the light of day in any way, shape, or form, because it would implicate Donald Trump, and they'd probably be fucked politically. Like, for example, like the whole, like, you know, a sort of like theory that QAnon has. It's, I don't even want to fucking call it a theory, but like, sure, the whole sort of thing that QAnon hedges its sort of a theory on is based off of the fact that Donald Trump is going to be the main guy who exposes all the fucking, like, pedophile billionaires, all the adrenochrome harvesters, and all this other nonsense. And it's just like, nah, dude. It's not happening, dude. Because guess what? Donald Trump was one of those billionaires. He was one of the adrenochrome harvesters. Like, it's not happening, dude. Ain't no fucking way. But here, we got some more stuff here. What are they saying here on
Caroline? Okay, so the FBI looks at the circumstances surrounding the death of Jeffrey Epstein. According to the report, this systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back...
Well, see, here's the thing. That's actually like, you know, Peter Doocy, for the most part, is a dumbass. That's a pretty all right, pretty good question, I would say. It's like, you know, what happened? Like, you guys said you had it all that stuff. Like, what happened?
back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network on Fox
I've
News.
got the quote.
Go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that. But again, when it comes to the FBI and the...
This is like some fucking complete deflection cope shit, dude. What the fuck is this, man? Like normally Karoline Leavitt is very good at just like confronting people and just like, you know, being smug about it and just like swatting away like a bunch of bullshit. This is like complete like deflection, deference, being like, I don't know, man, like totally like, listen, dude, this is totally not my thing. I ain't got nothing to do with this. Like, kind of a deal. This is up to Pam Bondi, the DOJ, the FBI. You know, I don't gotta really answer for anything here. It's because they're not releasing it. It's not being released.
Department of Justice, they are more than committed to ensuring that bad people are put behind bars.
Sure, man, totally. I think you may need to put your president behind bars then, because he's already a convicted felon. Whoops. And, you know, we got, like, DC Drano. I guess this is, like, the sort of, like, perfect little bow to encapsulate all this, because, again, like, DC Drano, that's him right there with the Epstein files. With the supposed phase 1 that was mostly redacted, with, like, Chaya Raichik there as well to do their little, like, funny little photo op. I still have no idea. Who the fuck is this, honestly? I ain't probably a dumbass. Saying, like, no Epstein post from Pelosi. No Epstein post from Chuck Schumer. Nothing from Hakeem Jeffries. Why would they make Epstein posts about, like, from these people? You guys are the ones who made it a campaign promise. Like, quite literally. Like, what? What? You guys made it a campaign promise. All of Trump's biggest enemies are eerily quiet today. If they truly believed Trump was on that list, they'd be screaming for it to be released. No. They don't want to talk about this at all because they know that Democratic politicians are also implicated. Specifically, Bill Clinton. They know. They know. So, again, this is like the shit creek that you guys fucking stirred up for no reason, and now you gotta fucking lie in it. Like, this is your guys' fucking problem. You guys did this. Donald Trump was the one who made this a campaign promise. Like, maybe he shouldn't have made it a campaign promise. I don't know. It's just some food for thought. Maybe he, instead of like, you know, going ahead and saying like, yeah, we're definitely gonna release the Epstein files, and be like, well, actually, I don't know. I don't know if we're actually gonna do that. Maybe instead of like doing that, he could have just been like purposefully ambiguous about all of that. But again, he wanted to excite people within his coalition, the more conspiratorial, far-right kind of people, very, very conspiratorial people. He wanted to make sure that they'd be motivated to vote for him at the polls. That's why. So again, it's complete nonsense. But he isn't. They know it. It's all their friends that are on it. Now, he's not wrong when he's saying this. A bunch of Democrats probably are within the sort of like Jeffrey Epstein files and stuff like that, and like a bunch of like Democratic leaning sort of like like billionaires and donors are probably in the Epstein files, without a doubt. Probably nowhere near as many as in comparison to the Republicans. Let's be honest here. Everyone's got fucking shit in their fucking hands. They gotta fucking lie with the decisions that they made. And, you know, they just gotta fucking cope and seethe about it. Like, honestly, like, I think that people should be talking more and more about the Epstein files and using it as a way to attack the Republicans. But the thing is the reason why they're never going to fucking do that under any circumstance is because it's going to implicate way too many powerful people who might come after them. That is why. So, it's never going to come out. Like, this information it's going to stay buried for the rest of fucking time. Ain't nobody ever going to learn any of that shit. And I don't know, like, dumbasses like you can just, like, keep coping and seething about it. But, like, damn, you got lied to. Fell for it again award, as always, to the Donald Trump supporters. Like, we can even, like, look this up or something. Again, DC Drano, yet again. Whoa, looking at the Epstein files doing the little funny photo op. Like, Like, I don't know. Why do people care about Epstein? Like, a bunch of, like, right-wingers are talking about this. Right? We're still talking about it because Epstein, because it was confirmed, or is confirmed, he was well connected with a social elite. That's true. Keep seeing people asking, why do people care so much about the Epstein story? Because we're busting our asses to pay taxes to a corrupt government full of rapists and pedos, and worse, we're being governed by them. That's why. Very, very funny. Again, like I said before, there's a bunch of people who are saying that are on the right, and I said this before, a bunch of people within the conservative movement are having problems with this. Same with basically everybody on the left is saying, like, this is bullshit, bro. Like, we know you're fucking in the Epstein files. And there's a bunch of other people saying, like, they're trying to resist the psyop. Like, why do people care about this? You know? See? Got this dumbass over here. Why do people care so much about the Epstein files? How will it change your life to shut the fuck up about it, honestly? Cope? Why are people still talking about Epstein? I'm seeing a lot of potential, like, psyop resistors. A bunch of sort of, discourse havers that are just, like, throwing shit on the fucking wall, seeing what sticks in order to deflect from the fact that Donald Trump is probably within the Epstein files. And they're being governed by a potential sexual abuser / pedo. You know. That's why people fucking care about this stuff. It's very, very funny. Very, very funny that all these, like, dipshits are trying to, like, throw shit on the fucking wall. And who even knows that these people are fucking bots? Who knows that these people are even real? Like, it's all just complete, like, nonsense. It's just gonna be like, who cares about the Epstein files? Like, yeah, there's totally nothing in there that's sussy at all. It's just like, people are talking about this because they're having problems with potentially being governed by a bunch of, like, sussy-ass pedos. Like, that's why people care about this stuff. Like, cope, seethe, mauled, like, I don't know, dilate, be mad about it. Like, come on, bro. Like, again, it's as I've been saying before, and I've been reiterating this constantly. Like, they're never gonna fucking release this shit because, again, stuff like this exists. Donald Trump is more than likely implicated in that stuff, and they'd be in a rather hard-pressed position politically to justify about, like, oh, well, he's kind of in the Epstein files because of it would cause them a really, really big political headache, and their already potentially fraught political coalition would be fraught and collapsing even more. So that's why they're never going to release any of this information. And the Democrats are not really much better on this, right? You're sort of like blue dog conservative Democrats, because they know a bunch of their fucking shit is shit stinks, that a bunch of their shit also stinks as well, that they're not really much better in this. Okay, so again, the Epstein files never going to be revealed, and it's I don't know, mostly I just want to say about, like, how funny it is that they decided to completely bungle this, like, sort of carrot on the stick that they've had for, at this point, years. How they decided to, like, completely bungle it for, like, no fucking reason, all because, like, Donald Trump's brain is soup and he just wanted to try to appeal to people in order to get back into power. So now he has to deal with this, like, potential situation, potentially coming back to bite him in the ass. So, you know, that's cool. That's pretty great. Don't think there's really much else to say besides that.